Today on our weekly pet segment, we want to talk about heartworms because they can be damaging to your dog or cat's health. Veterinarian Sandy Norman is here in studio. She is every Monday. It's good to see you again.
Good, thank you.
So Sandy, how do
here.
these pets get heartworm?
Heartworm is carried by the mosquito. It's been with us since about the 60s. It actually came up from the south and came right up what we call the mosquito belt, and Indiana is part of that. So it came up through Florida up and right into our area. And so we've had infected mosquitoes for years and years. And so we started out with a daily. We can't get rid of the infected mosquitoes. They're always with us, always be with us. When they reproduce, they pass it on. So we have infected mosquitoes, so it's passed by the mosquito. So since we can't get rid of the mosquitoes, we know that.
Right.
We have to give dogs a preventative.
Yeah, it's all about prevention here, isn't it?
Yes, it's all about prevention. And what it is the infected mosquito gets the heartworm from an infected dog. And in this case, wildlife too, remember foxes and coyotes, and then they transmit it to a dog who's uninfected. And they inject the larva, which is microscopic. But that larva has a predilection to travel to the heart and actually creates a worm that's 8 to 14 inches long that lives in the heart. And naturally that produces damage. So it's all about prevention. What we do is we give a preventative, and that's either a pill or a drop-on that we put on the dog or cat. And what that prevents is when the mosquito injects the larva, the infective larva, it kills it so that it doesn't go to the heart and create a worm.
And you mentioned cat there, so cats do occasionally get heartworm?
Cats are an aberrant host. They're not the normal host. Canids, and that's dogs and coyotes and things that are wild and domestic canids. But cats can get it too, especially if a cat that goes outside a lot. So there is a heartworm preventive. The revolution that you dot on the cat will prevent heartworms.
What would be the symptoms that you would see in your dog or cat if your pet had heartworm?
Yeah, and if they have heartworms, what happens is anything that would affect the heart, so they cough. The classic one is coughing, and that's what we call exercise-induced coughing. And that means if you're walking along like normal, all of a sudden they start coughing because it interferes with the worm living in the heart, interferes with the blood flow. So if they start running or they start walking and increasing their heart, they'll start coughing. So that's classic, all the way up to collapse. And then they can have so many worms that it can back up into the liver, so you can see organ damage
So
too.
if you do have heartworms as a pet, do they have to go through surgery to have this?
No, they have to go through treatment. But it's a very toxic treatment.
Yeah, all right.
And by the time you have a heartworm in your heart, you've already created damage. So we want to do prevention, because once we treat them, we can kill the worms, and then we have to keep them real quiet so the worms don't end up other places too, okay? So they don't produce a clot in the lungs or something. And then once you've gotten rid of the worms, you still have some damage left over. So you have dogs with damaged hearts. So we don't want them to ever get the heartworms, because one, the treatment can make them sick or ill.
Sure.
It can take a couple treatments 4 months apart. Sometimes the 2 shots won't do it. You have to go again 4 months later. And 2, you've already got organ damage. So prevention is always the key. You give it once a month, whether it's a dot on or a pill, all year round, because also included in that is you control other internal parasites, you get rid of fleas, all the things we created into one product that you use once a month.
Don't have much time, but I want to go ahead and show our viewers the pet that's up for adoption.
This is Pinky. It says a pointer hound mix.
Cute face.
Brown, cute face, really sweet. 2 years old, spayed female, available at the Humane Society of Indianapolis. There's Kathy with Pinky. Now, if you can't get Pinky home, and Pinky's about 40 pounds, it says, 39 pounds. If you can't get Pinky, there's somebody else who can leave at home. You can tell that she's a spayed mama, but she's very sweet. She'd be good in a home without kids, because she's a little bit bigger dog. But if you get Pinky or one of her friends at home, call the Humane Society of Indianapolis.
Good to see you, Sandy. Thanks again for coming in.